All right, guys, welcome back to week 3 summary class. So far, we have just completed like 3 weeks of training. I would like to understand from you, how is the training going on, like in general, in terms of the way the course content is laid out, the practice assignments are laid out, the summary classes that we are conducting every weekend. What do you guys feel about it? We can give it a try from Agatha. What do you say?
Hi, Suvik. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Good
the
morning.
course is perfect. I really enjoy doing all of the exercises and following your videos.
Okay.
And I believe last session on Saturday was really beneficial for us as well. So I really like the structure of the course.
Awesome. Thank you. Just want to understand, like you were already doing some kind of a programming earlier, right? So
Correct. Yeah.
whatever I am showing it to you, how it is getting more beneficial to you, like, because you already have some experience, how do you think that this programming is putting more value to you?
Well, definitely it's explaining all of the concept. So far, we only focus on Java, mainly on Java.
Correct.
So definitely you are touching the main concept of all object-oriented programming, which I'm using in my work every day.
Right.
But it's just great to have like a recap and refresh, because sometimes
Perfect.
when you are doing your job,
Yeah.
you are so much used to it that
Right.
you don't think about individual words. Like, let's say your lessons about access specifiers. I'm
Correct.
using it every day, but I didn't put much thought into it.
Right.
But
I
now,
understand.
after you explain everything in details, oh, I understand it even more than before. So yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. I'm really glad that you're liking it. All right, let's go to Anisha. Anisha, what do you think?
Hi, Souvik. Good morning, everyone. It's pretty good. As you know, I just late. I was a bit laid back because due to my laptop, and I've started working on the assignment 1 and assignment 2. Yesterday night, I completed the basic programming, like the rectangle, the cards, and all, and I'm feeling good about it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Austin, what about you? Hey, Austin, can you unmute? Austin, are you there? Okay, I'll come back to Austin in a minute. Avril, what do you think?
Hi, yeah, all good so far. I think people who have no zero Java knowledge might struggle a little bit, move through stuff fairly quick. But yeah, all good so far. I suppose if I was given feedback, each video contains, up to three topics. I guess if there were smaller videos, focusing on one topic, and maybe have 3 videos, that might be easier to put into your weekly schedule. You know what I mean? So you can.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. Yeah, we are actually working towards it. Whatever the videos we have, I have a plan to kind of split them, and we are actually trying to redesign this entire website so that we can split them to smaller chunks, and by that way, you will exactly get to know about one topic from one video, and I think that'll be even better. Yeah, we are working towards it. Avril, nice feedback. Thank you.
perfect. Thanks.
All right. Now let's try and talk to Brian. Brian, what do you think?
Hi, good morning. I'll go through it individually. I guess I find the classes on Saturday great. The way you go through everything, it really brings it together for me.
Awesome.
On the videos, yeah, there's I think breaking them down would be better, because there's a few bits in it where I don't know, things go wrong, and I feel sometimes I get frustrated because I'm trying to squeeze in watching them in the evening times. And I'm like, okay, there's 15 minutes I didn't need to watch. So yeah, there's some bits that can be, I think, cut out of the videos.
Yeah, yeah. If you can give me a little bit of the timing that you just found that is unwanted, I would love to take it out, Brian. It'll be a great effort from your side as well.
Yeah,
I will love to take it out.
I think on week 2, on one of the things you were trying on your Mac or something for a while,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
didn't work at all, and then you had to switch to one of the user's computers. So that whole thing of trying it on the Mac wasn't
Got it.
necessary in the end. That's just one example, but as I come across
Perfect.
them, I'll take a note.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, the assignments are great. I think the first week was a little bit difficult for a beginner, just to get into it, but yeah, I'm getting through it. So yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Duncan, what do you think?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's going good. I find that it's like piecing things together in my head. Like when I was working at my previous company, it was just you get so used to what you do every day, and like I was just creating test scripts and maintaining them, and then not really taking note of what I was doing. As long as it worked, that was good. But yeah, it's going really smoothly, and I'm liking the assignments a lot.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
Cool.
All right. Let's go to Keith. Hi, Keith.
Hey, Suvik.
Hello.
Yeah, all good for me. I kind of would have worked in this before, but not really had a deep understanding of some areas, especially in Java. I'm finding you're really deep diving into them and describing them better than I've seen in other courses. And the structure of the course itself is very good as well. I've done other courses, and the way it's laid out so far is excellent.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. It means a lot to me. All right, Kevin, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, much of what everyone else was saying, basically. I like what Brian was saying, actually, with the videos, because sometimes the videos are a bit long. And, you know, especially when you've had a hard day's work, you just want something to go boom, 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 and you get it. Like, you know, whereas otherwise you got to go into Saturday mode where you're sitting and listening and, you know, and sometimes to cheat a little bit, because I think, sometimes I'm trying to do an assignment and I get frustrated because I can't actually do it. I know I should be able to do it, but I can't. And then you get stressed. And
that's the reason why we have the Slack to put in your thoughts there, and we can give you some hints that can get you going. And if not, then Gagan is there for you to take a call, and then he will explain it to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But quite often it's not even something where I'm really stuck and it's just not work. It's just something I know. It's just something I got to do. So what I tend to do is actually Agatha is really ahead of me in terms of her programming knowledge. So I cheat, quite frankly. I go into Agatha's folder. I hope you don't mind, Agatha. Have a look at what she's done. You go, oh, of course, that is the answer. You know, and then you come back, rather than copying and pasting, I then try to redo it like my own way now that I've seen the answer. And that moves me forward really well, actually. So I got stuck last night on the rectangle and stuff. I kind of knew what you were saying, but I didn't know how to go about doing it. But when I saw Agatha's answer, I thought, oh, right, that's really obvious. And quite often I don't have time to listen to all of the videos because, you know, sometimes as you were saying, you know, you finish work, sometimes you just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So making the videos really short and succinct.
Yeah, I also agree on this point. And after a hard day's work, it's really difficult to go through all the videos because I am finishing every day at 6:30 these days due to some production issues, and it's really difficult.
So there are 3 videos, and every day, I mean, 3 videos, and each and every video is around 2 hours long. So in one video, I'm expecting that I'm giving like 3 topics. I mean, if you, I'm not sure if you can just manage to put in the time to just watch one of the topic per day.
Yeah,
I think
no, that's what we're doing. But I mean, in terms of feedback, I'm just saying, you know, if you just split it into getter setter, how to set a getter is you set a getter, you must do the return. The other one is you must do a this dot whatever parameter equals parameter. That's 1 minute. And then you're listening to it on the tube, just say, or on the train, you go, I know what a getter setter is. Let's see if I can remember it. When I get home, I'll do a getter setter. Do you know what I mean? Then it's really
I get that.
So then by the end of that day, you go, bloody hell, I know a getter setter, mate. I'm going to write it on the wall so that my confidence is boosted. You know, whereas otherwise, You got to listen to 1.5 hours to go, oh, they get the setup, but well, how do you do it? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I better go see. I get the, that's the way I work.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Thank you. Nice feedback. I'll definitely try to incorporate that as soon as we can. All right. Let's move on to Bino. Bino, what do you think? Hi, Bino. Are you there?
Yes, Ovik.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is actually happening? I just joined.
Sorry, my bad. So basically, we are just trying to get a feedback from everyone regarding whatever has happened so far in the training, just to understand how it is helping them ideally. So everybody's kind of giving their feedback to me, so that I can probably work towards it and change it, so that they
Yeah,
can
so Ovik, from
learn
my
better.
side, like the point is that I was not able to go through all the 3 videos.
Okay.
But it's like it's very long. Like I try to stop every part of the video and then get rectified with whatever I do. But since I'm doing some part time, so it's like I'm finding it a little difficult, like to go through all the videos. Like maybe I can go through 2 videos for a week or something, but all 3, it's like it's little difficult from my side. So that's it. Otherwise, I was able to cope up, like But this week I was not able to make it up for the all 3 videos. Yeah.
So how much time you're able to put in per week?
Um, like I'm like my part time is not like as that constant as it, so they keep changing it. So whenever I get some time, I sit and I focus. But the problem is that it's like I have to it keeps me into stress that, oh God, I have missed something. I have to finish this before the Saturday.
Okay, I would like to tell you something, guys, very clearly, right? That is, you don't have to take the stress of don't think that you have to catch a train or something like that. It's not this is not the course for I mean, which will put you in the pressure. I say that this course is something that is going to run for 4 months. It doesn't mean that it has to be exactly 4 months. I always keep a couple of weeks or 3 weeks of buffer in mind. And also, in any case, if you ever think that on this particular month or this particular batch, you missed out on certain part and you want to get another refresher with my next batch that is coming up, then you are absolutely, you should feel free to come and join, and nobody is stopping you from that. So you have the flexibility. It's just that I don't want you to, rush too much. Yeah, time management. See, I have seen the other batches as well. I'm doing training for quite a long time, and I've seen that people who are working professionals, they can somehow squeeze in those 7-8 hours for the video during the week. I totally also understand that everybody is working differently. Their time schedule is different. I totally understand that. That's the reason why I'm saying that I am flexible. Flexible in meaning that if you are not able to complete this within this batch, then you don't have any problem. You can definitely come back to me in the next batch without any, any challenges at all, right? So, I'm quite flexible out there. Okay. So, okay, let's go on to maybe Frey. Frey, do you want to say something? Hi, Frey. Frey, are you there? Okay, I'll come back to Frey in a minute. Let's go to Marty. Hi, Marty. What do you think?
Hey, Civic. Yeah, so it was good that we went from the start to writing tests so quickly. So that was a good motivation. I would like to echo what some people said about the videos. I felt that there was a lot. I know I do realize that they were recorded from previous classes that you've given.
Yeah.
But I did feel there was a lot of sections where there was troubleshooting going on that we didn't really need to see.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to maybe have videos that aren't taken from live classes.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, like other people struggling to fit the time in, but I'm taking measures to to resolve that. But overall, yeah, I'm very happy with what I'm learning and your teaching as well.
Thank you, Mari. Thank you. All right, let's go to maybe Omotola. Omotola, what do you think? Hi, Omotola. Okay, I'll come back to you later. Pankaj, what do you think so far? Hi, Omotola. You can talk now? Yeah, sorry, you can talk now.
Yes,
Hi.
sorry, my computer seemed to freeze. I couldn't unmute. Yeah, it's really a great refresher, and really enjoying the courses. My greatest struggle is, and the assignments are great, the notes are great. My greatest struggle is also the videos. But I was thinking, because sometimes when I'm doing the assignments, I want to go back to actually look at, first of all, to go through the videos I use some kind of tool to like speed up the videos. So that's great, but many times, like, I want to go to a specific point. I was wondering maybe if there were some kind of break points or milestones in the video, like, this topic was covered in so minutes. This
Yeah, so it's all boiling down to one point where we actually have to think about like breaking down the entire course into smaller chunk, so that you can just target one single video, not the entire section. Makes sense. I'm totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to work on that. Thank you. Okay, Pankaj, what do you think? Hi, Pankaj. Pankaj, are you there? Okay, let's go to Pratik. Pratik, what do you think?
Hi, Souvik. My feedback is also same, like other videos are pretty long.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't completed my assignment for week 1 itself, but I'm still going on, and I have gone through week 3 videos because I wanted to at least have a visual like what you are going to cover in today's session.
Okay.
Till week 1 and week 2, I was fine, but week 3 is little above for me to understand.
Okay.
Especially
Okay.
that second part.
Okay,
Actually,
I'll try
little
to cover
lengthy.
that up.
Yeah, videos are a little lengthy, so that's why I'm not able to complete my assignments even. Because my entire focus is always to complete the videos and do whatever I can do in my Eclipse, whatever you were discussing in those videos.
So, as I said earlier, I think Shoaib asked me a long time back that how do you think this training can be completed easily, right? So I said that in the video when I'm talking about one particular topic, you watch that topic and then don't progress to the next topic until unless you are super comfortable that particular topic, and then you can find a relevant assignment in your assignment sheet for that particular topic and complete that, so that you don't have to. So as I said earlier, that you don't have to use the videos as a movie. Rather you can rather you can just watch one portion of it and try to complete the assignment that is there in the assignment sheet, and that will probably make it a little bit better for you, right? I'm just thinking out loud instead of immediately going to the next topic.
So
yeah,
suppose, yeah, please go ahead.
Carry on.
Yeah, so actually, people who don't have programming knowledge, it's a bit difficult. Like for me, I haven't coded for a long time, so I have to go back to your videos to understand the concept. That can I write this program? Why this error is coming? And again, I have to go back, scroll back and forth, and check where exactly is the particular thing to understand. And at the end of the day, like suppose I'm starting at 9 or 10 at night Slack. If I open Slack and ask queries, Gagan won't be available. You will be also busy, so it gets a bit difficult for me as well, because I haven't done programming for a long time. I told you earlier also, so that's why I'm taking it slow. So I'm not just hurrying. I started with the first concepts. I wrote a small program. I made a class. Then I completed the class 1 assignment. I felt a bit good. But my problem is you will be completing the videos every weekend and I will stay back. So that is my main problem, because I haven't started with Selenium yet.
Okay.
Yeah. That's also one consideration for me also.
Yeah.
You start with week 3 today and not able to complete my week 2. So it's like
Same is my problem.
back of the mind, it says that I'm lacking somewhere.
Yeah, because I was trying to understand
Yeah.
inheritance, I was trying to understand arrays, and it was taking a bit of time. As I told you, Shobik, it's a new job, and I finish 6:30 every day, and I have a small son, although he's just 2 years. So I try to work on wisdom QA trainings from night, from 12 to 2 or for 10 to 12, like that.
Hats off to you, Anvisha.
Because I want to learn, that's why. But these videos are really long.
I mean, Anusha, I'll tell you something. I totally get the point, but the point is this, right? If you are trying to start the training at 12 o'clock, where you're already like, half done or 80% done,
yeah,
then I mean, it's quite obvious that you will feel
not every
lethargic
day.
and
Sobak, not every day, because Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays are very busy for me from the office side. So some days I'm like Friday, of course, I try to start early. I start at 7 or 6:30. So not every day that I'm doing at 12. But as I told you, the concepts, I knew the concepts from my engineering days, but trying to implement them and writing a code is taking a bit of time for me. My main concern is, will I able to be cope up when you keep on telling new things every weekend? I am just laid back. That's why I'm thinking whether I'll be able to cope up or I will just stay behind. That is my problem.
see, even if you are staying behind, it doesn't mean that you cannot come back to me or after the course you're done. It's a flexible course. You can come back to me in the next batch and you can still learn it. I don't have any thing to say about it, right? You can definitely come back and clear up your concepts anytime. But the point is, I get one point there very clear from everyone. That is, this videos needs to be broken down to smaller chunks, and I'm going to work on that.
Yes.
That's number one, definitely. But on top of that, we also have to think that regarding the time management, you somehow have to figure that out, because to be very true, if you are like starting the training at the end of the day, it'll be a little bit tough. I mean, why don't you start like early in the morning and give it an hour? I've seen many students of mine who are doing that. They're starting early in the morning and giving a couple of hours, and then they are moving ahead with the day. So I mean, you will come with a fresh mind and start learning it. You don't have to immediately implement it, but at least one topic you can just cover it up in early morning, and then evening you come back and take another topic. I'm just thinking out loud.
But Sobik, yeah, please go ahead.
Can I just make a point on this too? Because the first week I was kind of feeling the way a lot of people are feeling and falling behind and stuff. But so then you realize that you have to kind of change the way you're going to do this.
Okay.
Everyone should kind of try and make a head start at the weekends if they can, get ahead and not be leaving it to because we all kind of work, and I worked like over 50 hours this week, but I still got it done because I had made a good head start in the weekend before. So that's what the way people need to be thinking. There's no way we're going to get this done in 4 weeks, or sorry, 4 months, unless everyone kind of commits.
Yeah. See, today is Saturday. As by after the class, I enable you with the next week course, right? Next week stuff, and then you can start with Sunday. From Sunday itself, we can start the course. So that way, probably it will make a little bit easier for you. Okay, anyway, we are going to work towards it. Everybody is learning here. I am there to support you. You don't have to rush anything. Okay, whatever the topics I'm teaching, you just try to grasp it as much as possible. If not, come back to me. Okay, I'm always there in the Slack channel. Gagan is there in the Indian time zone. Obviously, he is working in the Indian time zone. If you can at least leave a comment for him, he will respond you back, or I will respond you back. So you have to put your effort from your side, and we are there to support you. Time management is something that you have to take care of, but as I said earlier, it's a flexible stuff. I can definitely help you if you want to come back in the next month as well. So okay, let's go to Shoaib last. Shoaib, what do you think?
Hi, Sovi, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man. Go on.
Okay. I'm pretty much firstly, I'm quite overwhelmed with the information information provided in week classes and stuff. Your training style is very good. I really like it because it goes down from the basic level to so the understanding your training side is fine, and I agree with everyone else that the videos are long, which you've already got it a feedback from everyone, so you're going to work on it. As when we spoke in the middle of the week, I said to you that, for me it's quite overwhelming, so I might not be able to finish on time, before the Saturday class. So that's why I requested, if there's going to be like, if you can hold on for, releasing week 4 stuff, um, maybe next week, not this week, and we can, cover up all the week 1, week 2, and week 3 with the assignment. Because for me, I want to make the maximum use of this course and get the best out of it. Because I've done courses in the past and which has not helped me and has not got me anywhere. So I don't want to do that.
Good
With
point.
your
See,
course,
I have, okay, let me make it clear, right? I have no problem to hold the next week, but I need a promise from your side as well, everybody in the class, that you guys will have to somehow, see, we are in the game all together, right? You have to put in the time and the effort. You cannot think that, okay, this guy has given me 1 week time, so let me go and be relaxed and I will try it tomorrow. No, that's not going to happen, right? I'm going to give you 1 week time. I'm not going to release week number 4 if everybody is okay with that. But I want everyone to come to the same page. If you need support from my side, Gagan's side, we are there. But you cannot be relaxed just after the class from today itself. Today is like Saturday. Today evening, you get started with whatever is left out. Today, tomorrow. See, 4 months class, 4 months course, we can extend it to 5 months. I don't mind with that. But you have to put in the time, you have to figure out the time frame. You cannot feel that I'm relaxed. Training cannot happen in a situation where you can feel that I'm relaxed and I'll be grasping things in my own sweet time and I'll be able to master it. That's not going to happen. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the extra time into it. You have to be proactive. As simple as that. And then we can all together work towards it and we can complete it. Is that sound? I mean, does it sound like a plan? Can we all agree to it?
Yeah.
Yes, from my side.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on, Agatha. Go on, Agatha.
To be honest, I would prefer week 4 to be released, because otherwise for people who are actually, putting the time, who made the routine, what shall we do in the, spare week? Like if the video won't be enabled.
This is the exact confusion I was trying to explain you, Sohaib. That there will be a group of people who will be putting the time and the effort, and they will be in a state to get to the next level. But then there will be a group of people who will be. Then there is a problem is that, how do you really make it to one page? I mean, everybody should be in the same page, right?
You see, I cheat. So basically, I had problems exactly like the other lady. You come home, it's midnight, 10 o'clock. You have to do it because it's Friday night. I'm not going to come to the lesson and say I haven't done it. So I cheat. I look at Agatha, copy, look at Agatha, have a look what she's done, and you go, oh, that's the answer. Oh, I get it now. So then you go back, quickly try it, and say, oh, yes, okay, that's good. That's what I do. I cheat. I look at Agatha because she's the top student here, basically.
Yeah.
And whatever she saves, I go have a look and go, oh, that's the answer. I can see the answer now. Then you go
It's
try it.
also difficult to spend like 15 hours or 20 hours when you're working along with other things.
I know.
Yeah.
It's tough, isn't it?
We are giving time.
It's very
that's for
tough.
sure. Yeah, everybody's giving time, but with assignments, with long videos and so much, it's like 15 to 20 hours tasks a week.
You gotta just smell the money. It keeps me up every time.
No, I mean, it's completely your decision, Sovik, and how you want to plan your course going forward. I mean, it was just a feedback from my end because I'm not at the same page like everyone in terms of understanding programming, and
I'm with you.
Yeah, so it's completely up to you. I mean, if you want to do the 4th week release, and then it's up to you how you want to plan it, and because you're going to be working on the videos to shorten them and stuff, so it's completely up to you.
Okay, Okay, let me think about it. Let me start get the class going. All right, we have just spent 35 minutes in just discussing the feedback. It was a good session. I wanted to get the feedback as well because I want to know how it is going for everyone. But yeah, definitely let me just think about it, and then I'll come back to you and let you know what can I do for you guys. All right, so let's get started. What I was talking about in the last class, in the week 2 class, I did talk about the class and objects. And okay, the question is, in the week 2, I spoke about class and objects, and I spoke about this particular diagram, which is the blueprint of the class. I would like to really understand that this concept, the way I explained in my last summary class, when I asked you back the questions, most of you guys were telling me that you are happy with the explanation. I would like to understand from the group of students who are not feeling that comfortable. I'm just trying to understand where do you stand with this concept, because this is the basic of everything. I would like to understand, are you okay about this particular piece first? What is a class? How can you create an object out of a class? Why are we doing this? Do you have that questions answered within yourself? Anisha, can you tell me, what do you think about it? What is a class?
No, Souvik, I can't answer.
All right. Shoaib, what is a class?
So basically, class is like a template or a blueprint, which will have members and attributes, and it will have instances.
No, it will not have instances. Classes is a blueprint, as you said, it's right, correctly said. It will have members and attributes. Members meaning members could be attributes and properties. Attributes are the variables and properties are the methods. In a class, you have attributes and variables, attributes and properties. That is the class member. Now the question is, on top of this, that's a class. That's a simple blueprint. Like I have a class called car, and these are my simple variables that I have within the class car, and then there could be a method like start the car, something like that. And that's my blueprint of the car class. From there, I can create multiple different objects out of it. By doing that, I can give the data to the class. Is that making sense? Chef?
Yes.
Okay. Anisha, does that making sense? Is it making sense?
Yes.
Okay.
The blueprint. Attributes.
Okay, guys, you don't have to mug up. This is something. There is nothing to. I mean, you cannot really mug it up. It's not a history lesson. You have to understand that what is the reason behind a class and why did they create a object out of it. I explained this in the last class very well. That think about it. If I have a students, if I want to create a student, suppose, let me just try and that's my class.
Reuse of a template, right?
Just 1 minute. I have a class and I have multiple students here, right? Every student will have different data. Every student will have their name. They will have their name, their age, their location, and other properties, attributes to it. Now, is it possible, practically possible, to create every different student separately and put them to some kind of a data store? It's not possible. It's never possible. I cannot create like hundreds of students and that they will have different data sets. It's not going to be possible. And on top of that, today you are planning that you just want to store name, age, and location. What if tomorrow you want to also store their
Address.
maybe location is the address,
Location,
maybe
yeah.
their maybe subjects,
Profession, subjects, yeah.
subjects, whatever subjects they prefer, something like that. Think about it. If you want to do it individually, and if you want to store them individually into some kind of a data store, you will have to go and you have to update the subject attribute to every student that you want to add in. That is never possible. So what is the smartest way? The smartest way is to create a class and to add attributes to the class. Tomorrow you want to add a new attribute, you just go and update in one class and all your objects will have the access to it. It is not a history lesson, guys. You have to understand, think practically. Is that making sense now?
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, Anusha, but I was expecting an answer for this particular piece at least. I mean, this is like.
So Vic, as I told you, I haven't gone to this class. As I told you, I haven't gone back to this one. So I'm still on.
This is week 2, right?
Yeah. So week 2 assignments are completed.
How are you able to complete this if you didn't understand this piece?
I understand this piece, but I was not able to explain you.
Exactly. Why is that? Because if you are able to understand it, like Shoaib was able to, he was able to get like 60% of it, and he was able to answer me to some extent, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to understand why did you feel kind of frustrated when I asked this question? Like I just want to understand, like what is the problem? Because if you are able to complete the assignments, then you should be able to answer me this question. This is the very basics. Okay, let's not get into it. I'll go to the next topic. This is where I just started, and I said I spoke about the class car. I spoke about the attributes or the class members. I said that variables are the attributes and methods are the properties. I explained that, and everything together is basically they are the class members. The elements that stays within a class are the class members. Nothing easier than that. Okay, now let's go down, and I just said how to create an instance of a class. I said just say car equals new car, and then you just created an instance of the car with a new keyword. It's clearly mentioned with the new keyword you're creating a car instance. When you create the car instance, you can access the attributes and you can put in the value inside it. All right. How to access class member? You can access the class member with the dot operator. I said that this is a car class, and there is a car class object. Okay, equals new car. Like, think about it. It's very simple. Think about it. You're saying string name equals Sovic, for example. Sovic is, this name is a variable which is of type string. Similarly, exactly similarly, Volkswagen is a variable or an object or an instance of type car. How hard is that? And you're saying, I want to create a new clone of the car class using the new keyword, right? That's how you create an object of car. You just name it as whatever you want. This is Volkswagen here, the name that I've given, and I want to add, or I want to access all the attributes and the properties of the car class using dot operator. Is it too hard to figure it out? I really want to understand this.
What we didn't get is that, it shows us everything. We got that bit, right?
Yeah.
But you need to actually create the first class and then create the second class. Then you get that it's actually second class is outside the first class.
Obviously, because this is the main, I told you that this is the main method. The main method is the place from where you are kicking off your program. So which means that in this particular class, you have to create all these calling activities. The first class, the car class, is just up here, like the one I mentioned in this section. I have no main method in this class because this is my blueprint. Main method is the class from which my kickoff will be done for the program, right?
That's the bit I didn't get.
Why is that? I mean,
I
what's the
don't know,
question?
because this one's just saying public class car, right? So there's no static void, but then the other one's got public static void main. So that's like the runner almost, which creates the instances. This is the class that does the class definition. That's the element I didn't really get. That's why I had to look at Agatha's thing to get, is that basically you create the first one, which is the template, which should just not have void even in it. It's just public class car. Oh, it's got void in it. Sorry,
Okay. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. There is a void here, right?
Yes.
The void is up here, right?
Yes.
Now, what is the difference between this void and this guy here?
Because this one's got static. It's got main thing is it's got main, so you can execute it. So the other one's just like a template, so it's got no main. But this one is main because it's actually running, like as it were, you know, and it's creating the instances based on the pre-created class.
Exactly. So you got that, right?
But that's why I had to look at Agatha's thing to look at it, because basically this one says once created, you know, it says how to access class members. Once created, once an instance of the class is created, that's the one above, then class members can be accessed with the dot operator, but this is a new class altogether. So this is a new class, but then class is called, I don't know what the class is called even. The class is called creating cars or something, isn't it? I don't know.
No, the class is the car class. No, I just want to understand this piece of the program is exactly explained in my previous summary class as well as in the recorded sessions. So I'm just trying to understand, did you not get that part or
Sorry, Souvik.
Yeah.
No, when you explained it, we got it. But what we're trying to understand here, see, we know that the class is a blueprint. So you've got the template, as in you've got the members like, you know, your brand, your models and engine and everything, right?
Correct.
But then you've used another class where you have stated public static void main. Okay, you've given the reference variable, you've created that object.
Okay.
Now, from my understanding, for the reason we call class as a blueprint is because we're not mentioning what sort of brand it is going to have, what sort of engine it's going to have, and what sort of number of seats and stuff it's going to have.
Meaning you're just saying, meaning you're just saying that the class information, whatever is there within the class information, it doesn't really have the data. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Why haven't you put the data in the class and you've put that in the main? Is there reason? Because you've added methods in your main class as well.
Okay, I really want to. I would really want to try and ask other students to answer this question. Let's go to Avril. Avril, do you want to give it a try?
Sure. So when you create an instance of a class, when you create a class, you're basically creating a blueprint, which you all understand. Then in the main, when you create an object of that class, it just creates an empty object. You haven't assigned any values yet. So then you need to fill the object. So basically you're creating a copy of the blueprint, and then you need to start filling the values into it.
Like in the other class, my last week class, very well explained. Thank you, Avril. Like in my previous class, I didn't take the example of car because it was already mentioned in the video. So I just wanted to take another example. I said students. Students is having attributes, which are these variables. And then I have properties, start class and end class, which are nothing but simple printing some values. In this whole blueprint, do I have a data? I don't have a data. Now, not only that, I can't even run this class on its own, because if I just say right click on it, I don't have a run as, I don't see run as Java program. I can't even run the class on its own. Number one, it has no data. And number two, you cannot run a class directly, because to run a class, you need to somehow say that what is the kickoff point? In this class, there is no main method. This is just a blueprint which is supposed to hold some information, but is not holding any information as of yet. So what's the option do I have? Meaning I have to create a class from where I can access this class and I can put the data into it. That is why I said test students, which is my class, with a main method, because this guy is the place or a kickoff point from where my class will be kicked off, or my program will be kicked off. So now I can say right click on it and I can say run as Java application. I can say that because I have a main method. And now that I have a main method, now I can access the class, the one that I created, which has no data before I actually did any of these stuff. Meaning at this stage, if I'm trying to create, I remember this very, very well, that last week in the summary class, when I did a debugging of this particular class, I did say very clearly that debug as Java application. I did say very clearly, Shoaib and Kevin and Anisha and others who didn't really understand this, that at this stage, when I'm putting a breakpoint and I'm hovering on top of the variable, what do I see is 0, null, and null. And why do I see that?
Because it does not have any data.
Exactly.
As Agatha explained, I think it's all empty.
Exactly. So my question is this explanation now going to sit in your head forever? Because if you are not understanding what is an object, and how the data are being really created out of the blueprint. I mean, why am I using a blueprint, and why I am using a main method to access my blueprint? Then it's a problem. Because after a week or so, if you are coming back to me asking the same question, then that's a real problem, which I'm not sure how to fix.
Could you guys could I make a suggestion? If you think about the class as like a template, so when you open Word and it asks you create a new document, and sometimes it asks you, do you want to create it from a template? That's essentially what you're doing here. You're creating a student from a template. And then when you have your template document, then you can start filling in the information, and you have a document which is based from a template. Does that help in any way?
Yeah,
perfectly.
So first the blueprint will be created for any program which we write, and then inside that we call our main method.
No, blueprint will not create out of its own, out of thin air. It will not create. You have to create the blueprint. Like I have created a blueprint called students.
Yeah, public class students. But as you said, and yeah, so yeah.
And guys, there's another good way to understand it. So say a form that you fill in, an application form. Okay. So the original application form that everyone gets that hasn't been filled in by anyone, that's the blueprint. Then that form, that when someone starts filling it in, becomes an object, becomes an instance of that blueprint with data. Exactly. Once you start filling in your name as whatever your name is. Exactly. So that's another easy way to kind of understand it.
Perfectly well said.
So,
thank you, Keith.
Savik, yeah, I've got that. In terms of, because you've said reference variable and you talk about objects a lot. So what's the difference? If I'm just understanding.
I'm calling it everything the same thing. It is an instance or an object or a reference variable. It's all the same thing. It's just this guy. It's
right?
It's just a variable. It's just a variable which is of type students, and using that now you see I have nothing up here, but however, if I just put this back, Now I am able to, using my reference variable, or object, I'm able to access my attributes and my properties using the dot operator. That's the simple and simplest explanation I can think of.
Okay.
Kevin, are you okay with that? Is this absolutely crystal clear to you? Kevin, is that clear to you? Or he isn't there? No, he's there. Kevin, are you there?
Sorry, I didn't unmute. Yeah, no, I got that now. One other thing which got me was then in the assignment, so we got this business about it's a template, blank form. It's created without a main. That's the void one, right?
It's not about, okay, you're complicating stuff. It's nothing to do with the void thing, right? It's nothing to do with void. Just a second. Can you just remember the simple drawing? I mean, I have a blueprint which has some forms and that has no data. That's it. Okay. Now I cannot access this form directly. I cannot access this blueprint directly. I have to use something else to access this, which is what the main method here. This main method, it is a main method. It's a blueprint. This is a main method. And this main method, this is the main method. I need the main method because I have to kick off my Java program. Without this, I cannot really access this blueprint, as simple as that. So I need to kick off my Java program from the main method because JVM, Java Virtual Machine, is looking for a main method from where it can start the program. So it is my kickoff point. That's it. Now I have to access this blueprint. Now this blueprint can be accessed within the main method, and this main method, see, if you just say it's a void thing, it sounds like a vague explanation. Nobody will buy that. If you try and go to an interview and if you say it's a void thing, it doesn't make any sense to anyone. You got to be very clear that what exactly you're talking about. Void meaning what? In programming perspective, when you say void meaning a method that is returning back nothing, that's a void thing. All right. Now you cannot just say it's a void thing. You got to say that you're talking about a main method. Then it makes sense. Okay, it's a main method, meaning you want to just start the program from the main method. Now there is a particular structure of the main method, and that's where it says it comes down to public static void main. That's the structure of the main method. You cannot create a main method without this particular structure, which will be your kickoff point. You cannot do that. So Java Virtual Machine is looking for exactly this structure so that it can trigger the program from here. Now within the main method, I am creating an object of the blueprint, whether it's a car or a student, doesn't matter. And this is my car class. And that's my reference variable equals new car, right? That's your reference variable or object or instance, whatever you say. And then I say car dot. And with this dot operator, I'm going to access my members, my variables, or my properties. Is this now making any sense?
Yes.
Or Nisha, is it making sense?
Yeah, Souvik.
Okay, Kevin, I want you to repeat and tell me whatever I just said. I really want to know if you got this or not. Can you just tell me what is a blueprint? In the blueprint, what do I actually put in?
Yeah, so the blueprint is not a main method. It's a blueprint. It starts with the words, this is what I was trying to say. It starts with the words public void, something like car, which is the name of the blueprint, right? So
No,
then
no,
what?
no, no, no. There is no void in the class.
Oh, is it?
Voids will never be in the class level. It's a method
Oh.
thing, right? So
So what's the public? You know, the main method is public static void main, right? String square brackets, you know, array args. Void. There you go. Public void. Students. So okay, so we got the public class students at the top, right? Then you've declared the variables, which is the string name, the integer age, the string class. Then you're defining the public void, the start class, and the public void end class.
what are these guys?
They're the methods within. You've got the attributes and the properties.
Yeah, what are these guys? They are methods, right?
Yes.
They are within students class, right?
Yes.
All together of them, what do you call them? All together? What should I call them? They are the class members, right?
Yes.
Because I'm calling them a class member. I call you a family member because you're within a family, correct?
Yes.
Similarly, so student is a family. Inside that I have members, correct?
Yes.
That is the end of the story. That's it. Okay. Now the other part of the story is that I have a simple class, which is where I want to access the student. So let me just take this out completely. Now I have to access that student class because the student class that I have there, it has no data whatsoever. It's a simple template. I have to fill in the data. How do I do it? I have a class. Now this is the class from where my actual program will start.
Yes.
This is my kickoff point.
And
right?
it's kicking off because it's got public static void main.
Exactly. JVM is looking for it.
Yeah.
JVM is looking for exactly this structure, right? And that's the reason a method which is having a main method, I mean a class which is having a main method will only have the option to run it using run as Java application. You will not find this option if you don't have a main method in your class.
Yeah.
Right now, JVM is looking for exactly the structure. So from here, it will read, okay, it will find it that, okay, this is my main method. I will start the program. So it finds this particular statement where I'm saying students Souvik equals new student. At this stage, there is no data inside it. At this stage, there is no data inside it. And now I fill in the information, whatever I just said here. That's where I start filling the information. I am going to access the property. I'm going to access the member. I mean, attribute. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, instead of this Souvik.start class, this method, I can use sys like print ln also, right? And print those values.
Print which values?
These name, age, and class name here for separate.
Yeah, I mean, you okay? Can you tell me how will you do that? Suppose you want to print this value here, right?
Yeah,
how
suppose it's not there in that you have declared that as this method start class. Suppose it's not there in that template. So I'll use sys.ln command and use that Souvik.name and then age and then class name.
Yeah. So in other words, how do we create another? What I think he's trying to say is, so we got the bit about the student has public void and it's a method, you know, has a domain. So this was the main one.
If I want to access the name, I would just do this using the printout. That printout is happening within this particular main method. That's fine. But what if I want to access some information within the student class? This is my student class. This student class is having some properties. The properties are that the student is starting the class and ending the class. So, okay, tell me something, Kevin. You are a family member. You have certain property, right? You have a height. You have some hobbies. That is your own property, correct?
Yes.
Now, in your family, you have 10 different people, and everybody is having their own property, correct? So you can create one class saying family, and from that family, you can create multiple different people in your family.
Yes.
Kevin or your brother or your sister, whatever it is, and everybody will have their own data. Exactly.
Size, age, name, attributes, basically.
Exactly. However, that is their data. However, every one of you do eat together. You guys sleep together, right? So you have different properties now.
Right.
These are your actions.
So this is where we put the print property. We can all print together.
Exactly. Here I'm just printing. Exactly. We are just trying to print out all this information. That's another way of looking at it, right?
All right, got it. So I was trying to create a case called print. That's where I started. So I thought, oh, let's create a print sort of.
I'm somehow thinking that probably some of you guys are overthinking it and making it overcomplicated, rather than just as watching whatever I'm showing you and then just practice it the way I am showing it to you, rather than I'm somehow thinking that you're trying to overcomplicate the whole process. It's not that complicated.
Yeah.
Pratik, is that making sense now? Or Anish, is it making sense now?
So I think much your understanding is much better now. So maybe we are overthinking. That's the reason the
I think you're
statement
overthinking. You're too much making it complicated. It's not a complicated structure at all. You have a class which is going to be a blueprint, which has no data whatsoever.
completely.
And you have another class from where you want to access it, and you want to fill in the information. That's it.
Yeah, and for that we are using the dot operator to.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is the reason. Okay.
But with that one, just because you got your cursor where it is now, right? So in this student class, the test student we're in now, right? You got different instances of each student. Kevin's age 40, the one above it, Suvak, age 35, right?
Yeah.
Now in Suvak, this is where you've instantiated an instance of Suvak, right?
Yeah.
You've now got system out, system.out.println suvak.name.
Correct.
Right? But so you've now, in this example, put the system out statement in the instance of Suvak, right?
Correct.
Right, and it's only going to print his name, right? But I'm just saying, like, you could have put the system out in the other file, the one that defines the template itself. And
yeah, I did so. I did so, right? Here.
Yeah, there you go. So you could have put it there as well if you wanted to. I'm just saying, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did already. Yeah.
So then when you come back to Suvak, you could just say system.start class. You would say Suvak.start class, would you?
That's what I did.
To use this in
yeah,
Suvak.
yeah. That's exactly what I did, right? That's exactly what I did. Just here.
Yeah, now you see, there you go. So you got Suvak.start class. So that's going to use the print method from the template of student.
Exactly. That's right. Yes,
but
that's
the
right.
line above it, for instance, I'm just saying.
Yeah, this guy is printing it within the main method. Within the main method. This printout is within the main method. However, this print that is coming from the start class is basically defined in the template.
Yeah, I got you. You see, I mean, that's brilliant. I was trying to, last night, I was trying to create another bloody class called print. And then I had one for student, one for print, and then a main runner, which was trying to run the both. And I just got totally confused. Then I look at Agatha's one. I went, oh, right, okay. But then she's using getter setters, which is something else as well. Like,
Yeah, getter setters is nothing but just you're going to put some data inside it and get some data out of it. That's it. We can talk about that later on. Let's not get confused. So anyways, I spoke about what are the methods and its usage, the property part, understanding scope. I spoke about the scope, whatever the variables that you keep on the top, they are in the global scope, meaning these variables can be accessible within the properties of that class. I have spoken about that. And that was the end of it. And then I will quickly move to the next section. Okay, what is Selenium? I spoke about what is Selenium. I spoke about what is how Selenium is working, what is the JSON wire protocol, WebDriver, and how the interaction is happening. I told you about what is a jar file. I spoken about, and that was pretty much about it. And installing and configuring jar file, I have shown that to you as well. And let's go to the next one. Okay. Okay, this is where I wanted to really get started with. I was thinking of starting with the HTML and basic structure, instantiating a WebDriver, using Chrome driver, understanding browser console, discussing HTML tags and attributes. So that is where I really wanted to get started, but we are kind of a little bit behind the schedule for today, but that's fine. Understanding an HTML structure, okay? I would like to understand that, have you ever, suppose this is my simple google.com, okay? This is my simple google.com. Have you ever understood or realized that how this page is being displayed in front of me, or any website? How is this page been is created ideally? This is created using three things. One is HTML, second is CSS, and third is JavaScript. Meaning this particular web page, if I go and if I do an inspection on this, you can just see that it has a HTML structure. You see the doc type is HTML. It has a HTML root which ends over here, and it has a head, it has a body, right? If you open the head, you can see many stuff here, whatever you are seeing there. You don't have to really bother about them. Just think that, just look at this title called Google, okay? This is the title, meaning when you are going to google.com and you are hovering your mouse on top of Google, you see the print, you see the name there, Google. That is coming from the title, right? This information is coming from the title information. That's fine. So you have a proper structure for HTML page where you are starting with the HTML. You have a header and you have a body. Inside the body, you put in the stuff that you want to show to your users. For example, you can see that if you go back to your Google, you can see that there is an inspection, and this will take you to an input field over here. That's the input field or the text box where you're writing something. And when you are writing something, some stuff is happening at the same time. So let me just try to draw some stuff. I really want to understand. I really want you guys to, understand the drawings I'm doing, because it really kind of gives you a better understanding of how it is happening. So let me just talk about it again. I'll just quickly clear out all my existing drawing. Okay. So what did I say? I said I have a web page. Suppose it's simple google.com. I said there are three components to it: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. What does HTML do? It gives you a structure. It gives you a structure. CSS is there to make it look beautiful. Look and feel, right? And JavaScript is giving the ability to the application, meaning actions, right? That is how these three components are built. These three components are used to build a web page, a simple web page like google.com. Now, when you are, have you ever thought that when you are writing the simple query saying Selenium, just think about it, cross it out. I put this here. It just shows me, I'm not even writing anything. I'm not even writing anything. Just hear me out and try to understand. Just try to understand something. Ask your own mind that when I am clicking on this box, from what or how Google is giving me some information. How did that happen? Can you guys tell me how did that happen? Why this drop down just dropped out of this particular input box, and why do I have this list displayed in front of me? How it is happening? Have you ever thought about it?
History.
History. Very good. How exactly it is storing the history?
Maybe using JavaScript for these actions, for this particular dropdown.
Right. So please understand that there is JavaScript involved in this whole game. Meaning what? Meaning at some point of time, I have requested or I have queried for all these stuff in my Google. It stored this information into a database. I'm just giving the name of the database as search history or something like that. Search history. Search history or something like that. Okay, I'm putting the name as that. All right. Now, whenever you are entering some information, that value is going up there. Now, in the search history, they are going to store all your history information. That's fine. But in between, meaning when I click on this, when I click on this text box, something is happening. What is happening is the JavaScript is calling a web service. What is web service? We will talk about that in detail later on. But JavaScript is calling a web service. What is that web service doing? It is just doing nothing but simply fetching the information from search history. What information it is fetching? Last 10 searches or something like that. It is pulling that information from the database and then showing it to us in our application. Just right there. Again, the same time, when as a user I am entering a new search, it is calling another web service which is going to set the data inside the search history database. That's all is happening. And I can prove that to you right now. Meaning, if I remove everything out of this situation, and if I just say inspect, and in the network tab, right? Let me just refresh my google.com. That's my network tab. A lot of calls are happening. Don't bother. I'll clear it up. Okay. I'm saying nothing but just tab, one click. Let's go and see what happened. Guys, you have to be, you have to have that hunger to question what's happening. Learning a completely new stuff is not a piece of cake, right? You have to ask yourself different questions, and then you have to try to figure it out how to get the answers. I'm there to give you the answers, but you have to put in that time and effort to ask the question. You have to be hungry about it. So you see, I just clicked on that box and nothing more than that. I made some 4 calls to the web service. Let's look at them one by one. So I made a call over here, say play.google.com log. I'm not really sure. It's a post call that I've done. What is the response back out of it? Something. I'm not really sure of this guy. Let's see other guys. Okay. So for Google, I'm really not sure because these guys are super smart. How they are not going to show us the data for sure. But let me see. View source. Yeah, it is. They are doing it in a something probably different, completely different. But ideally, I'm quite sure that they are definitely trying to make some kind of a call. And okay, I see a get call here. Okay, I see a get call here because obviously when I'm saying a get call is nothing but it is trying to fetch some information. I'm trying to get a get call here, and in the get call, let's see what exactly did I send. Referrer. Okay. Response. No, I'm not able to see any response from them.
So
okay. Yeah.
I have a question. So you open Google, you just clicked on the search bar, and when you're trying to inspect, why do I see 5 requests over there? If you open the page source, which we're trying to investigate now to see
because you don't know how developers have implemented the calls, right? So you don't know that when you are performing one single action, you don't know that how many dependent calls are being made. It doesn't mean that if you click once, only one call will be made.
It may be multiple calls as they have designed for the page.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So how they have designed in Google, I'm not really sure, but because they are making things very secure or whatever. I'm not really nearly sure. I'm not able to see the information, but this is exactly what is happening when you're performing an action. JavaScript is basically trying to call dedicated web services, and the web service is trying to take the information or put the information inside a database. That's
and giving it back to what the user is seeing on the Google front end.
Exactly.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
If you hit remove one of those, will that put a call or delete call to the database?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, if you hit remove on one of those suggestions, will that trigger a delete to the database?
Could be. Now it depends whether this remove is actually deleting the information out of the database or not. I don't know. Right?
Yeah,
it doesn't because let me just try that. So you see, this is I'll clear it up.
I understand. I just wanted to see what that trigger show us how a request, a delete request goes if it does work that way.
Yeah, we will do that later on, but I'm just trying to see if I make this remove call, something has happened for sure, but I don't know whether
from what I
can
know,
see below. I can for request.
These are saved in the browser, so it's like from the your cookies because it's your search history, right?
Probably always not because I don't know how Google has built it, because all these search queries that you are searching, Google is also trying to keep a copy of it because they want to use it for their analysis purpose, right? So you see delete items, this call was made right now, and let's see, it's a get call they have done. I don't know how they're doing it, but they have made it.
I think I know a bit about this. So basically, it depends what browser you're using. It depends what operating system you're using, where your cookies are kept. So when you click on that, it goes to Google. Google then has a look to see what operating system, what browser, or he's using Windows, he's using Mozilla. So therefore, go to this directory to get his cookie. So when you click on that, there's a lot that actually happens, because it's got to go to Google. Google's got to come back and say what browser, what version of operating system. Then it knows where to find your cookie. Then it finds your cookie, then it reads your cookie, keeps all the information in it, probably for their own purposes, and then returns you the list of all the searches that you've made.
The question is, I don't know whether it is only storing my information just in my cookies, or they are also storing my search results in their own database, because they are also trying to use it for their analytics purpose, right? So the delete that is happening, I don't think it is only happening at my cookies level. It can also be happening at the same time at the database level. But if they are actually deleting it permanently from the database or not, I don't know. There are a few calls that are being made. There is a search call, okay? And some parameters were sent here. Okay, I don't really understand from the Google perspective, what are these guys here? I can see that ENIE, that's the local language, that's all it is figuring it out. But that's pretty much about it. I can figure it, I can see. But definitely they have made some search call, and they have made some delete call, not delete call, but a search call was a get call. That's fine. Delete items, that is also a get call. So I'm not really sure whether they have deleted my search idly from the database or not. Okay, so you guys can get to know more about how the web services are working when you actually start working on the application side. Okay, you cannot just understand how this entire framework or the application is working unless you get to know about all this web services call. But from this discussion, I just want to make you understand one thing, that whatever you just see here, it is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that brings this whole page in action for us. That's number one. All right. Now let's go and see a simple JavaScript, HTML structure. HTML structure, like the one that I'm showing you here, it will just give you nothing but a bare bone HTML page. I can just create it right there from a simple text document and say new page dot HTML, right? I can just go open this up, simple text file. I can open this up. I can just create a simple HTML template like so, and that's all you are doing from the HTML perspective. Obviously, HTML can get very complex, but that's not my point to show you. I will show you how to read the HTML using XPaths, right? So body and HTML, and I say it as head and head. You can say this is basically a document object model, a model that is followed by all the developers to create a HTML page, meaning it has to have a head, it has to have a body, or a simple predefined structure. Inside the head, ideally you put in your CSS and your JavaScript locations, okay? And in the body, you are actually putting in the actual elements that you want to show it to your user. For example, I can show it as an input box. Input box, I just say, I can give an attribute to the input box, name equals first name, for example, first name, F name, okay? And I just want to close this input box, just like that. Okay, I just created a simple HTML page which has nothing ideally. I can just add in simple title over here, and say Google, right? And say title close, and that's pretty much about it. And this is my simple structure. If I want to save it as HTML file, save as, say, all files, and it's a .html, save this guy. Okay, I saved it. It's a simple HTML page. Where is it? Then, okay, I'm not seeing this guy. One minute. File, save as, new, not text document, man, all files. Yeah, that's the reason why HTML. That's it, not text. Save. Here we go. Okay, I open this up and you can see in this page, I have just added two things, the title, which brings this name over here called Google. And then this guy has a simple input box where you can type in something. So it is a simple HTML template. I will not say template, but a simple HTML structure that I was able to create out of those 3 or 4 lines, whatever I've written. Okay, why I'm talking about HTML? Because we are going to learn about the just a second. We're going to learn about the automation for web application, and then we will learn about the automation for mobile application. So we have to understand how to read each and every component that you see in the HTML. For example, if I want to read this particular component that I just created right now, a minute back, I can say right click on this and I can say inspect. And if I do that, you just see that in this console of yours, I can open up my HTML page. How do I know I'm looking at the right input box? If you hover your mouse on top of the element, you can see on the left hand side that component is getting highlighted, meaning you are referring to the right element. Right? You're referring to the right element. And just not that, if you expand the head section, you can see a title called Google. That's the exact title that you saw there in the tab. Okay? So we have to somehow figure it out. How can I read this guy? Why I am concerned about reading this guy? Because I have to interact with that guy. I have to interact with this text box. So if I want to interact with this text box, I have to locate this text box. How do I locate the text box? I will use something called as XPath, right? XPath is a strategy or a structure using which you can locate your HTML components because you want to interact with them. For example, if I want to interact with this input box, I will say Control F on your console, and which will bring the small window, a find window just here at the bottom of the page. And there I'm going to say that I'm looking for input tag. So input, you see, in this whole page, I have just one input. So I was able to find it out just there. But when you will work with your application, you will have hundreds of inputs. And you have to figure it out. How can you uniquely find that element out of those 100 elements in the page? For example, I want to find this input box with the help of this attribute called as name. So I can say within the square brackets, I can say at name equals fname, right? That can let me interact with that, or that can let me locate that element uniquely in the page. How can I know that my XPath that I have written is correct? Because I can see a search result saying 1 of 1, meaning I was able to find this element uniquely in the page, right? And then if you hover on top of this green guy, it clearly shows you on the left that it is highlighted, meaning my XPath is correct. Okay, whatever I just said so far, am I making sense? Guys, if it is not, if it's not making sense, I really want you to speak out loud, because I don't want to really hear back next weekend in the live class that you didn't understand this piece. If you don't understand, speak out now.
Savik,
yeah,
it makes sense. What if there's more than one with the same name? What can you add to the end of the path
okay.
there?
Generally, what happens is, for example, I'll do the exact same example that you're saying, right? What I will do is I'll quickly go back. I will quickly go back to the HTML document, and I'll just copy this piece, and I will create another guy just there, right? Same guy. I'll just save this. Totally fine. And let me try to open this. I have 2 of them now. Perfectly good. Now, if I say inspect, I open this guy here, console. It shows me 2 of them, right? You want to fill the value in the first one. Okay. How can you do it? Again, Control F, double slash. What is meant by double slash? What is meant by single slash? I'll talk about that later. But for now, the simple double slash input and you're going to say at name equals f name, and this guy says 1 of 2. However, you're interested in the first one.
1 of 1.
Yeah, you're interested in 1 of 1, meaning the first one. How can you make it first one? If you use something called as index, meaning wrap this up in a bracket and just say, give a square bracket and say 1.
So Souvik, this one, what you're writing, this particular scripting, is it some specific to HTML or is it JavaScript? What it is?
It is called XPath. I'm using XPath.
Okay, XPath.
I'm using XPath to find out or to locate a particular HTML component in the page.
Okay.
Because if you don't locate the element, how will you interact with it, right? If you want to click on a button, if you want to send some values inside the input box, you have to interact with it. So you have to locate that element so that you can interact with it. So I'm just trying to create this XPath to show you how can you locate that element. Correct?
Okay.
All right.
Now we should have the first text box.
Okay, if you want to get the second text box, just change this index to 2. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, Shovik, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, we can copy this thing instead of to type it down. Like it is easy to search.
I didn't get that part. Sorry. What do you mean?
Like we can copy the input name and f name instead of like we can write in the down line. So
do you mean right click on it and copy
and copy and
yeah,
you're saying like this?
Yeah, copy the element.
Copy. Okay, so this is a whole game of why we wouldn't do this, right? Why I cannot trust whatever is coming out of the console directly and giving it to us. There's a whole game of it, which I will explain in much details when we talk about relative XPath and absolute XPath and what is the problem by doing this structure, by using this structure, right?
Okay.
Why it is always preferable that you should write your own XPath, always. Okay. So I will talk about that in details later on, but I'm just trying to just start this class. So just hang in there with me. Okay, so now that we are understanding this piece, so what I'm going to just say is I will quickly go back to this section. Okay, HTML. I spoke about the HTML tree here and I said it's a window, the HTML window, and we are creating an HTML document inside that. And I say it's a header section and it's a body section. Why this structure is important? Because I'm just trying to show you how a HTML form or a tree looks like. It's a document object model, which I'm trying to show you here. It's a HTML document and you have a header section, you have a body section. This is structure that every HTML developer understands, okay? And they abide by it, right? So it is saying HTML, I have a head, I have a body. In the body, I will put in all the components that users will see. In the header, I will add things like title, I will add things like CSS, JavaScript, okay? People will not see it, but it's there because those are the things that are making this application look or feel the way it is, okay? That is what I will do it. All right, understanding the browser dev tools. This is a section which I just wanted to cover up quickly because I've explained this to you in the videos very well that we need to use a console, meaning when you right click on any browser window like so, you are getting this console. This console is our bread and butter from test automation perspective. This console is bread and butter, specifically this element section and this network section. Network section is very important when we understand the API testing, not as of now, but element section is absolutely needed right from the very start because this element section will let us interact or it will help us to find the element that we are trying to interact with. For example, in this page, I have this guy over here, which is showing my information, right? So what is the locator of this element? So I can just say, I can use this mouse on the left top corner, and I can say inspect. Okay, and it says this, it's an image. So look at this, it's an image. Okay, this image is under this anchor tag. Anchor is nothing but a link. When you are clicking on a link, okay, that is basically an anchor tag. So this image is within this anchor tag, and all these components are going inside the body section, right? The anchor tag, the images, the divs, the search boxes, the buttons, everything is going inside the body section. That is exactly what I wanted to show you here in this section. And I showed you the console. This console is going to help us to interact or to find the elements that we want to interact with. All right, let's move on to the next part.
Souvik, one quick question. You explained about the network section.
Yeah.
So what exactly the network section does?
Right. Network section helps you to understand that whenever you are performing in an action in the page, what exactly is happening. Meaning, I showed you just a minute back that when I was, for example, I'll do something, maybe not Google, but let's go to another page. For example,
let's go to Wisdom QA.
Wisdom QA is also there, but I just want to show you something better than that. Okay. I want to show you Expedia. Right? I'm showing you Expedia. Now in the Expedia, for example, I want to perform, let's just inspect, or just open the console. That's fine. Click anywhere, open the console. You can click anywhere to open this console and go to the network tab. Okay? Right now in the network tab, there are some calls are happening. Even though I didn't do anything, still it is trying to make some HTML calls. That's how the application is designed. You see, it is still making some calls. Probably just trying to understand my my action in the page or whatever it is. I'm not sure, but I just want to clear this out. And for example, I want to perform a simple call saying, I want to click on this going to. Okay. And I say London. Okay. And if I just go back to the network tab, you can just see there are so many calls that are already being made just by performing that's one or two options. Meaning, whatever the action you are performing in the web page, there is some kind of calls that are being made to the web services that is trying to fetch you, or you're trying to put in some value into a database. So whatever whatever you're trying to perform, any action that you're trying to perform, that is basically trying to call a respective database or a web service, and that call is being made whenever you're performing an action. The developer of this application has made sure that whenever there is an event that is appearing in the web page, event can be a click on a button, or just even mouse hover, or just even scrolling of the page. Each and everything is an event, right? Whenever there is an event occurring in the page, some kind of action is being called, some kind of web services is being called, right? So this is what is being captured in the network tab. So you can see whatever I just did there, some kind of calls were being made. Okay, you see browser Edge, and that's the Edge browser I used. And I don't know, it says hotels, local, something, right? They're the calls that are being made by that simple action that I just did there. Okay, there are so many calls that are being made. That information is being displayed in the network tab.
Network section. Okay.
Okay. If you watch the video, you will understand it better, because I didn't only talk about network tab. I have also spoken about other tabs over here. I wanted to watch it and then understand it. Ask me questions if you have.
Sure.
Elements tab is the section that is very important for us, because that will let us
to locate the
elements.
Yeah.
Exactly. Perfect. So that's that. Now let me go back to Okay, I just went out of my drive. So class 7. Okay. All right. Now I'm talking about understanding HTML tags. I'm trying to say you, or I'm just trying to let you know that there are multiple different type of tags that are there to make that web page look like a web page. Like you just saw a minute back, I was able to create a simple HTML page with this input tag. So input is a tag, understand this very well. There are two things that you have to understand. One is a tag, and the thing is an attribute. Okay. What is a tag? What is an attribute? So this guy is a tag, and this guy is an attribute. Using a tag and an attribute, you're making one single object. You can have multiple attributes attached to an input tag. For example, I'll give you some quick example. You see, this is my simple attribute. That's cool. I can add another attribute over here saying type equals text. All right. And here I can say type equals submit. All right. Type equals text, type equals submit. I can say that. Now I can say even something like this. Input, you see, same input, the tag is same. Just the things are different. Just a little bit here and there it is different. So type, I'll give a name. Doesn't matter. I can give the same name. It doesn't really matter. I can give a name, F name. And I can give this type as submit. Submit. Oh, sorry, my bad. I want to make this as password. I want to make this as submit. Submit, right? And I'll just close this guy as it is. Input. Okay. What structure I'm writing here, Anisha? What is this I'm writing? Whatever I'm writing, what the script? What is the script?
JavaScript.
Oh my God.
This is HTML, right?
This is
Oh, wait.
HTML. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
HTML.
sorry. Yeah, this is HTML. Sorry.
Okay. Don't give me heart attack, man. Okay, I'm just.
No. Sorry, my son was just here.
So, all right. Now, I just made some changes there, and you just saw. I kept the input tag as same for all the three components, and one of this is a button because I added the type of it called submit. Even though the tag is input, the attribute was submit, so it turned into a button. Here, the first one is turned into a password, and second one is turned into a normal text field. How is that possible? It is possible because this guy here, this guy here, open with Notepad, please. It has same attribute, same tag name, but different attributes. Attribute one is called password, one is called text, one is called submit. So what did we learn from this? We learned that we can keep the tag names same, but depending on the attribute, your HTML will perform differently. Correct? Like for password, it got all masked. For text, it was just a normal text field. For submit, it was turned into a button. However, nothing ideally happens to the button if I click on it. Why is that? Can you tell me why is that? Why nothing is happening? Shoaib, can you tell me why nothing is happening? Or Pratik, why nothing is happening?
Because I think you have not coded anything after that. Please,
No.
there's not.
No JavaScript performing.
No,
Exactly.
yeah, no click
Exactly.
into it.
Exactly. That's the answer. There is no JavaScript behind this code
To
which is
perform the action.
to perform that action.
Hmm.
What am I doing when I click on the submit? Nothing I'm doing, right? It's all the clicks are happening on the HTML component. But to make this active, I need to call a JavaScript. I need to call a JavaScript so that it can do something for me. There is nothing behind it. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to show you here, that there are multiple different type of tags that we can look at. Anchor tags are basically for links. Okay. And in the anchor tag, you provide an attribute called as href, like this. I can just simply say anchor, and I can say href. I can give a link to a particular site, like so, and I can give a name saying Wisdom QA, and I say anchor. Okay, and now I just say, let me go and perform the click. Okay, I have this Wisdom QA. I am able to redirect to Wisdom QA by clicking on this because I added that href attribute, which is pointing to my website. Make sense?
Yes. So basically, Souvik, href is always used when we want to add some URL on any website address, right?
Yeah, an href attribute will never work with input. You have to understand this combination of attribute and the tag is supposed to make sense to each other. You cannot add a href to an input box.
Right.
Href always goes with a anchor. Okay. All right. So that is that. Just a second. Okay, so these are different HTML tags. I've spoken about input tags. I've spoken about select tag. All right, select tag, you can create a drop down like so. Okay, we'll talk about this in details later on. Again, understanding HTML attribute, I just informed you how it is, how href is working along with anchor. I just told you that, so I'll skip this part quickly. Finding an element, we are finding an element using the Selenium WebDriver, using something called as find by. Look, guys, I'm trying to go deeper and deeper in this, and somehow you have to really match it up, to that level where you can actually understand what I'm talking about. For example, I'm just going to quickly create. I didn't even create my week 3 project. So week 3 summary. So finish. All right. Don't create this. And I'll add in my Selenium server jar. I have shown you how to do that. Java build path under class path, say add external jars, Selenium server standalone. Okay, apply and close. All right. I added the Selenium server jar to my, I added my Selenium server jar to my project, week 3 summary. I'm just going to create a new package called test Selenium. And I just say finish. New class. Okay. Test Selenium again. One is a package, another one is a class with the main method. That's it, very simple. Now, because I added that reference library called Selenium server, you can see if you go open this section, you see I just added this guy, Selenium server standalone, because I added this. That's the reason I have shown this to you earlier as well, that when you add this particular external jar file into your project, you will be able to access their classes that are defined within this jar file. Meaning, I can just write this section very easily: Chrome driver equals new Chrome driver. How come I can write this? I can write this because I've added the Selenium server standalone jar, and in that jar there is a Chrome driver class somewhere, which is why I'm able to write this. There's an error because this Chrome driver is not yet imported in this class. So I say import just there. Okay. And with that, now I'm in a situation where I can start writing my piece of code. So I can just say, let me go ahead and I can say driver.get. And I just want to say, let me get the HTTPS. Okay. Come on. Right. I'm going to say Expedia.com. Simple. I want to launch this particular website. If I try to do this, you guys probably know what will happen. It will fail because it will ask me for something. It is saying the path to driver executable must be set. So webdriver.chrome.driver. That's the property that you must be defining within the system properties. How do you define that? Very simple. Just copy this section. Say system dot property system dot set property. Yeah, set property, and in here just say this guy, and that's the location where you are pointing to your Chrome driver. I've explained in the video where to look for the Chrome driver. Is there in the selenium.dev file, selenium.dev, what do you call is the website. If you go scroll down right there in the browser section, selenium.dev. If I say go to downloads, and if you just scroll down right to the browser section, you can see whichever browser you want to look for. So if you want to work with Chrome, click on the documentation, and that will take you to Chrome, and you can just download the latest Chrome driver right there. But you have to make sure that your Chrome browser is exactly matching to this particular version. Otherwise, it will not work. So make that you have it. Make sure that you have it. Now, once you download this exe file, it's a simple exe file. You can keep it in your local system anywhere. And for me, it is there in my C drive. Oh, sorry. Let me just go from here.
Yeah, Shovik, is this the one-time process, or we need to write this line in every main method?
No, it is a one-time process for every main method. Yes, if you have 10 different main method in your class, in your project, then for each and every main method you have to do this. But we can definitely find out another way to make it very easy by introducing you to another strategy. We will do that in a minute, okay? Where you can define it once and then you can use it forever. Okay, we will do that. So just a second, I'll just quickly go to C drive. I'll say WebDriver drivers, and I have this Chrome driver here. That's perfectly fine. I'll copy and I'll just paste it in this section. And I'm looking for Chrome driver.exe. Simple stuff. And I say save and run, for example.
Sovik, I have one query. Sorry, it may be
Go on.
stupid.
No, go on.
So,
Nothing is stupid. You can ask me any question. Go on.
So this particular step which you did now by pasting location, this needs to be done all the time?
Every time you want to instantiate the Chrome browser or any browser, you have to perform a similar action.
Okay.
I have mentioned it, why it is needed in the previous summary class. You have to go and watch it. I have clearly mentioned why the Chrome driver is needed and what is a Chrome driver or how Selenium works, what is the JSON wire protocol. I've explained everything in the summary class. The summary class, you have to go and you have to take a look into it to understand this better. But you have to do this line every time you are instantiating the Chrome browser, every time.
Okay.
Now, you see, I just ran this line and I was able to open up Expedia.com
Okay.
just right there. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Souvik, another question. Selenium, does it may only support Chrome, or can we use Safari, Edge, other browsers as well?
all browsers. That's what I'm saying. If you go to the website, if you put some amount of time into this, Anisha, it will make your life easier. You will understand. If you open the browser, you see it supports Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari, Opera, Chrome, Edge. Right?
Okay, so as per our requirement, we need to do the configuration like right now we are doing for Chrome. So you have said that particular thing for Chrome, right? For Chrome,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
that's right.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we just got the Chrome driver up and running with a browser. That's fine. Now I want to interact with one of the component in this particular page, meaning I want to probably just click on this flights tab. Okay, I want to go to the flight section. All right, so this flights tab that I have here, let me right click on this, inspect it. Okay, I can open this up in Chrome or Edge, whatever it is, and I can just click on this button here again, this inspection button, and click on this flight section, right? I want to actually click on this flight. So you can clearly see that it's an anchor. You can see that it's an anchor, and this anchor is having so many attributes added to it. For example, wizard flight PWA, right? Area controls, that's an attribute, and wizard flight PWA. It means something to the application itself. As a user, you don't have to bother, but as a tester, you actually have to understand how to ideally identify this anchor uniquely in the page. So I'm going to show you a very small trick to find the attribute, the one I was showing you a minute back. I will be using the XPath for sure, meaning I can just simply open up the Control F section that will bring out this bottom part for me, where I can write my XPath. So I'm looking for this particular keyword because it sounds like that this guy is going to be unique, because it says wizard flight PWA. Flight is kind of unique in this context. So I'm going to just say select this part, and I'm going to say double slash and just say anchor. Okay, and just say at I lost that. Let me just go back here again. It is called as area controls. That's the attribute name. So at attribute equals wizard flight PWA. That's it. Now by doing so, I am uniquely finding this element in the page. As you can see there, it's 1 of 1. So that's my XPath. Don't worry if you don't understand XPath right now. We will talk about that later in much details later. Okay. So I just copy this XPath and let's go back to the website, and I'm going to perform an action. So I said driver dot find element by dot XPath. Okay. And you're going to pass on this XPath there. And then you want to say dot click. That's it. And if I just run this now, it will exactly do what I asked it to do. So it will just perform a click on that particular tab. Let's wait and watch. And it clicks on that tab, just like that, right? Now, this is what is happening. However, I would like to understand, I mean, you must be asking this question that how exactly this is all happening. Meaning, okay, now that we understand so much about class and object and all the stuff, can you guys, let me ask Pratik, can you tell me, can you just read these two lines and tell me exactly what is happening? Now that we understand what is class and object and instances, can you tell
Sorry.
me, what exactly is happening in line number 11 and line number 13?
We created one instance of Chrome driver as declared as driver equals new Chrome, and then we but then we used what should I say, and Selenium field that driver.get to call this URL expedia.com.
What is the get? What is get?
Get is basically to launch. It's a like
No. Question is
inbuilt.
no. Question is what is get?
Method.
Where is it defined?
In Selenium.
Is it in Selenium or it's in Chrome driver?
In Chrome, like in inbuilt, right?
It's the method get is within the Chrome driver, right?
Yeah.
And this method is accepting how this method is accepting this text. How is it happening? Anisha, can you tell me how is it happening?
Because in the 9th line you have done it, right? System.set property webdriver.com driver.
No. My question is in the get method, how I am able to send this text? How? What is this text? This text that I'm sending within this text that I'm sending, what exactly is it? What is it?
That is a URL.
No, that is a URL, I understand, but from get method perspective, what is this?
An argument.
It's an argument, exactly. It's a parameter. It's a parameter. How do I know all of this? Like it didn't come to my head one fine morning. How do I know this? Because I spend time to inspect everything I do. How do I inspect it? Just simply put your mouse on the get method. It tells the whole story in front of you. It says that this get method is a get method. You see, get method is accepting a parameter called as URL. And this method, get method, is not in Chrome driver class, but it is within remote WebDriver class. And Chrome driver is a subclass of remote WebDriver class. What is a subclass? We will talk about that later on. But you understand that this get method is accepting a parameter called a string URL, which is why I was able to send a URL. This command didn't happen just like that. It happened because there's a reason behind it. This is a parameter which I'm sending within the get method. Correct? Okay. Now at the same time, let's break it down. Again, now that you understand get method, let's try and break it down, this whole statement, and let's see what can you idly figure it out. What can we idly figure it out from this whole statement? I'm breaking it down so that it can make sense. Again, what is the driver object? I will ask the question in answer me, please. Let me ask Kevin, what is driver?
Driver is the name that you have given the instance of the creation of Chrome driver.
Exactly. So it's a
instance.
It's an instance. Chrome driver instance.
Yeah.
Okay. So Chrome driver
instance.
Driver instance, right?
Instance name.
Instance name, I can say. Okay, fine.
Find
Chrome driver instance name, right? Okay. What is the find element?
It's the method.
Within? How do I know that? Let me hover it on the find element. I'm hovering on the. Okay, exactly.
Remote
Oh,
web driver.
can we read this? Can we read this line very? I mean, from the first word to the last word, what exactly it is? Can we read this and figure this out? So this is what we read, right? Let me just copy this whole section. Okay, and let me just try to break it down even further. This is what we read from that when we hover on top of the find element. So this is what it is saying. Can you tell me what exactly is happening up here? What exactly it is? Probably I can ask Shoaib. Can you tell me what's happening here?
So find element is basically a property which exists in remote WebDriver.
A method or a property? Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So by using the reference variable driver, we are accessing a property find element.
Okay. So whatever you explained so far from that perspective, we just understand that remote WebDriver, a class, which is residing within a package called as org OpenQS Selenium remote. Sorry, let me, okay. OpenQS Selenium remote. So let me clear this out. And so basically you understand that remote WebDriver is a class which is within this package. And inside remote WebDriver, there's a method called as find element. You understand that very much, right?
Yeah.
That is what we have understood so far. Okay. Can you tell me what is web element? I will ask Bino. What is web element, Bino? Bino, what is web element? Can you hear me? It's okay if you're wrong. That's fine. Just answer me.
Is it something to do with the web page? We are trying to find out something within the web page.
No, my question is why this keyword web element is here in this position? Why it is like that?
Because I think so. I may be wrong. Because we are trying to do something from the web page, may it be a text box or a drop down, something like that.
No.
The HTML element.
The return type.
No.
The return type.
Exactly. It's a return type. Understand the question. I asked from the find element method perspective, because from the find element method, I was able to get this whole text, right? When I hovered on top of it, like so, let me hover again. I am getting this text. I want you guys to understand how to read this, because if you don't read this, you will not have the complete understanding that what this method is actually meant for. You have to read this. You have to make it a habit of reading it. You cannot just mug up whatever I am teaching you. You have to read, you have to inspect everything that you are doing. That's how you will make that's how things will make sense to you. So find element is a method that is returning back. The method find element is returning back a web element object, a web element type. So that is a return type of it. Find element is returning back a web element. And find element is also accepting an argument of type by. Because it is accepting an argument of type by, that's the reason in the next line I can say by.xpath within find element, because by.xpath is basically boiling down to or equating to a by object. So you are just creating a by, which is object, which is something that you're putting within the find element argument, and find element method is called from the driver object, right? Now, how do I prove this section saying find element is returning back a web element? How do I prove that? Obviously, we can see it from the method structure. that it is indeed returning back a web element, but I can also prove it by doing this. I can say web element. I'm creating an object called web element, and let's give the name it as flight tab. Give any name, no problem at all. Flight tab equals, okay. This flight tab, okay, let me just say flight tab, like so. Flight tab and equals, what do I say? I say driver dot find element by dot xpath okay. And within the xpath, I'm going to say the structure or my actual xpath. Okay. Now this structure that I have just written, you see right now web element is giving me an error saying go and import web element, which is coming out of read this. What does it say? Org OpenQA Selenium. This web element class is defined under org OpenQA Selenium package. So I import this. When I imported this, now you see driver.find element, this syntax, I can say the left-hand side equals to the right-hand side. I can say that because find element is returning me back a web element object, right? If it is returning me back a web element object, that's the reason why I can say this. I can say web element flight tab equals driver.find element by xpath. I can say that because find element is returning back a web element object. Now in this situation, I can go and I can say flight tab.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. Dot click.
By, then you have a space and then you have by. So by is the first by with the capital is the type.
No. That space is just for
not
it,
here.
Then?
But where the web element org, the remote web driver, then you have the in brackets find element, then you have in brackets capital by, and then you have a space.
No, it's not a space. It's not a space. It's a dot.
No, and that's what I mean. But when you hover over the find element and you have this text, web element text, the last part of it, you have the
yes. Okay.
So
this
that
one.
so that by the first one is the type. That means it's a by type. It's and then the second one is the name of the
type.
Of the type. But
exactly.
why do
or
we
the parameter? Yeah.
Or the parameter. But why is it that when we are now putting it into our code, we have by with a dot xpath and not by and then a space and then a type?
Because by.xpath is basically giving you an by object. If you look at the by xpath is nothing but a method. So look at the xpath now. It is returning back a by object. You see that? Xpath is returning back a by object. That's why. So by.xpath, xpath is returning back a by object. So which is why. So this is how by.xpath is this structure I'm writing, because I am trying to call the method called xpath, but xpath is the method which is actually returning back a by object like this. You can see it here.
Yeah, and then you have the string there. That's where the xpath we're writing is in string.
Exactly,
okay.
exactly. Makes sense. Yeah, totally right.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Sorry, Souvik, before you move ahead, you know, your line number 22. So you've said that, you know, web element flight tab, that's the left-hand side is equal to driver.find element by xpath.
Yeah.
You know, and before you imported selenium.web element,
yeah,
the web element was, you were getting error on that. So as you imported web element, so now can we say that web element is also a class?
It is a
where
class.
We are inheriting.
We're not inheriting. We're not inheriting anything. It is a class.
Okay, it's a class, right?
Yeah, it's a class, and I'm creating an object of web element called as flight tab.
Yeah, that's the reference variable you've got for web element. Okay.
Exactly, and then I say driver.find element because this guy is now pointing to this guy.
Okay. So in the same manner, so now selenium.by, so by is also a class, right?
By is also a class, that is true.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Fine. So now by.xpath, again we are
Xpath is the class method.
Yeah, it's the method
Which is accepting a
string
a
value.
parameter called as a string XPath expression.
Okay, perfect. Now got it completely. Thank you.
Is this completely understandable to everybody? I really don't want to come back to the old sections over and over again, because that will kill the time for everybody else. I really want to make sure that you are absolutely crystal clear, meaning at midnight, 3 o'clock, if I call you and ask you this, you should understand, you should give me the answer. You should be crystal clear about that.
Yes.
Slovik.
Yeah.
When using web elements, would you say that you use it to have multiple actions off the same XPath? Is like, what's its use case versus just using driver.find.element?
What do you mean multiple actions? For example, it's a
So
tab.
so yeah, you got flight tab.click.
Yeah.
Now, do you use, like, if I want to do another action after that, is this the use case
on that
on
particular
flight tab? On flight tab.
You can theoretically definitely do that, but the point is, think about it. When you click on the flight tab, you are already from the usage perspective, you're already in the flight tab again, and you can do another thing. For example, flight tab. By the way, the point is the flight tab, the one that I'm trying to show you here, it really doesn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
You don't have anything else. So for example, this flight, okay, yeah, flight tab is having the text called flight, right? Let's have to print it, right? For example, flight tab.click. So you clicked on it and you are in the flight tab. Now you want to print that statement, or you want to print that value. So sys out and say flight tab dot, another method I'm teaching you right now is called get text. Okay, now look at this. So why Eclipse is so, or Eclipse or any IDE is so preferable, because it gives you the whole picture. Now you see, I am trying to access the method called get text, and this get text method is going to return me back a string element. Look at this. Get text is the method. If I hover on top of it, it returns me back a string element, and get text method is within the class called web element, which is why I'm able to use the dot operator to access the method called get text, and which will eventually give me back the text out of it. So if I run this, let me actually just remove this section totally. And if I run this portion, let's run. All right, so just the action is completed because you see the program got stopped, and you see that I was able to perform the click as well as I was able to get the text out of it. Now, if you want to click one more time, you can feel free to do that. But from the application perspective, nothing will happen ideally, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. All right. Any other questions? I really want to make sure that you are absolutely clear with what is exactly happening with this section, how every separate component got stitched together. You must understand this. It should be in the back of your palm, you know. You should understand how this whole thing got stitched together, because this is how we will write our program. We are
One
going
thing,
to,
Souvik, you know, your line number 18, flight tab dot click. So
yes,
that click method of property which exists in web element class.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
What about if I was to do driver dot click? Can I do that as well? Will it?
Yeah, that is why
click method?
that is why you don't even have to do all this stuff. That is why we can directly write. Just remove everything. Just directly write this dot click, right?
Okay.
Now you are able to access dot click method. Why is that? Because from here to here, it gives you something. What is it?
Element.
Web element.
Yeah, web element, sorry.
That is the reason why you are able to access this method called dot click. Pankaj, Pratik, are you guys okay with this?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Pratik, what about you?
yeah, I am.
Okay. What about
Yeah,
others?
it's brilliant, actually. So you can see how far we've come from student. It's really good, actually, Savik.
Thank you.
But one question I've
The
got,
only
which
thing I'm expecting is, Kevin, that whatever the time and the time and effort I'm putting towards explaining this, I want you to you guys to kind of stick into it, right? You should not slip out of your mind.
No, I'm going to listen to this video again and again because it's that good. I mean, it's brilliant because you've shown us, moving on from the student example to this really brings it home. Everything that you've said, it's brilliant. The only one question I've got, which I'd never ever got, is, so all of this example you've got of hovering over and then working out, is it a method? Is it a this? Is it a that? Right? The lady Emmanuel earlier said by with a capital B space small by in the brackets is the parameterization, a bit like string and name. Yeah. But when we look up to system.set property, one thing I never got is why the blinking hell in that bracket, the parameterization should be something like capital B for by and then small by. But that example actually has quotes. Why does that do that there like that?
How?
In other words, why do I always have to remember when
look
I do
at this.
system.set?
Look at this method. Just whatever doubt you have, hover on the method. Look at this. System is a class. Inside that, there's a method called set property. And this set property accepts two parameters. One is a key, one is a value.
And they're both strings.
Both of strings, exactly. That's the reason why I'm putting them as a string.
Got it. But that's different from usual, isn't it? Is what I'm saying, right? Normally it's like string.
No. You can have 100. You can have different type of parameters: a string, number, boolean, everything. In this set property method, it is just accepting two parameters of string. That's it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, okay. It's accepting two parameters, both of type string, one for key and one for value. Gotcha, mate. Brilliant.
And the key here is WebDriver.Chrome driver. The other one is basically the path of the Chrome driver. That's it.
Yeah, that was really good. I love this thing of hovering over. That's really brings it home, doesn't it?
Yeah. You have to read. You have to hover. That will sell it. This is why Eclipse or any IDE is making it easier for us as a developer, because you just quickly get to know what's ideally the story behind that method, right? Or anything ideally. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really hoping that this is going to stick and it's not going to slip out of your mind. Anisha, are you crystal clear about this?
Yes, Avik, I am, and I will try to, whatever you have told, watch it again and again, as Kevin said. And in case of any queries, I'll definitely come up. I'll try
it doesn't matter you watch it over again and again. It's just that you have to understand the process. Meaning you are doing anything. When you're doing anything and you're writing a simple text, go ahead and try to inspect each and every component and just try to build the story in your head. If you're not confident with the story that you are building, you can just put this in a text and send it to me for a review, saying that, Savik, I'm just looking at this particular section. This is what I'm thinking it is. Is it right or wrong? And I can quickly look at it and I can tell you whether you're wrong or right. I'm there to help you, right?
Yeah.
So you have to do that exercise of looking at everything by hovering on top of it and reading and get to know what's going on. Okay, that should be there in your habit. As a developer, it should be like, within your blood, right? So that's how it is. Okay, let's go on to the next part.
Sorry, Savik, is it possible to get a 5 minutes break?
Okay, we are actually 12:30 now. I don't know how long I can complete this. I really wanted to start up the next week 3, but I just couldn't because of the initial discussion we had. That's fine, and that's not a problem. We can get back to it again. I have a question to ask. I'm not sure if that's going to work out for everyone. Monday, I'm taking a day off, or yeah, Monday I'm taking a day off from my office. So I'm just thinking, is it possible for the whole team to get back on Monday sometime evening time frame for a couple of hours and complete this section, the one that we couldn't really touch, that is the week 3 section? Do you think it is possible? And we can do it either on Monday or on Wednesday. Wednesday is a holiday in Ireland. It's a St. Patrick's Day. It's a holiday in Ireland. So people who are in Ireland, I think it'll be pretty easy for them. And who are not in Ireland, if they can figure it out sometime during the evening time frame, I can get it done even in the early morning, like 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, sometime that time frame, or I can do it, you know, in the evening after 6, something like that. Do you think it's a plan that we can work on? I really wanted to start this 3rd week section, but because of the initial discussion, that didn't happen. So,
and we confirm to yourself tomorrow. Is that okay?
I'm okay with that. You have two days of choice: Monday evening or early morning. Early morning 7 to 9. I'm good with that as well.
So 2 hours. Will it be for 2 hours?
Yeah, we'll for 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. I think 2 hours should be fine.
Yeah, I can do Monday or Wednesday evening.
Suvik,
okay.
I think it's a great idea, Suvik, but you're never going to get a time to suit everyone. But could you do it and then maybe record it, and then anyone who can't make it can always watch the recording? So do it at a time.
Recording will be obviously there. That's not a problem.
It's just you're never going to get a time to suit everyone.
Yeah, you're right with that as well. So let us try to get we have right now around 17-18 people right now in the class. So if you guys can just text me in the Slack, more or less. I have 2 time frames. I'm going to just send you know, maybe voting or something like that in the Slack, and just tell me what of those 2 time frames are working out for you guys, Monday or Wednesday, both 7 to 9 or evening 6 to 8, whichever what works for you. Just let me know, and then I can give a class in the middle of the week.
Can you make the poll a multi-select option, just in case that there's more than one option that suits?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, so let me just complete this portion and then we'll call it a day. That's fine. So inspect element, well, inspect element, I just showed you what it is and how it is done. I showed you that you can just you know, right click on a particular element, whichever element you're trying to work with, click on the inspect. This inspect button, when you click on it, it opens up the console window from the browser, just like that. Okay. It'll open up for Firefox, for Chrome, for IE, for Edge, whatever. Now, this guy over here, this console over here is also having another button, which is this one, select an element. So you can open this link, or you can open this particular console first, and then you can use this particular button up here. You can use this button up here to find your element. So just select this guy and click on the button that you're trying to work with. For example, you want to click on the search. So just click on search, right? And then this guy says something. What does it say? It says that you are working with a button, okay? And this button is having a text called a search, and it has multiple different other attributes, meaning it has an attribute called as data test ID, type submit, class, and the text of the button is search. Okay, so that's the button that we just created, or not created, but inspected, right? So that's how you can simply do the inspection As of now, I don't want you to really break your head towards writing XPath. Rather, you can just simply do this for now. Right click on this, copy XPath or copy full XPath, both will work. Okay, just use copy XPath, and copy XPath will give you a text like this, However, this text is obviously going to give you one of one for now. However, using this text like the way I'm showing you here is very, very dangerous. And why it is dangerous, I will explain that to you in the next class. Okay, when we understand about absolute XPath and relative XPath. But for now, just try to copy. It's very simple. Right click on the element, copy, and say copy XPath, and that's it. That will give you, it will give you a simple string which you can simply copy and use it the way I used it in my simple test case, like so. Here, just say paste, and that's it. That should do the job. Okay, and then you can just run your. I'm just trying to get you guys familiarized with how to write simple driver.findElement commands, how to access different methods. By the way, you have to also understand that when I say dot click, okay, when you hit a dot, for example, when you hit a dot in IntelliJ, you ideally can look at all existing options. What do I mean by that? Meaning, if I say driver, this is called as IntelliSense. When I say driver dot, it gives me a list of available options I can choose from, meaning you don't have to really mug up or understand what's really which option to use, or if you can remember the statement. No, because if you just hit a dot, it will tell you what exactly is happening, or what are the different methods are there. So I can see a method called driver.findElement. I have a method called driver.findElement by class name, by CSS selector, by ID, link, by name, partial text, and everything. Okay, and I have so many other methods called findElements, find elements, right? A singular and plural, right? And then there are so many different methods: get method, get capabilities, get class, get command executor, get current URL, so many different methods. Now you don't have to really bother about remembering all of them. You have to just use it once or twice, and that will kind of sit in your fingers that what is the next keyword that you're looking for, and you will use that. Okay, and what these methods are ideally doing, how do you know that? For example, the method called as get local storage. What does it do? How do we know that? That's where you go and you Google, meaning you have to look at the documentation. So if you just go there and say Chrome driver documentation, Java doc, for example, right? So if you just come in here, Chrome driver Java doc, and I am okay. Current, okay, let me see here. No. Just 1 minute, guys. I will show you one thing because this page opened. I'll show you something. Okay. You remember in the last summary class, I did tell you that there are 3 components in the browser. There was a component called as web element, sorry, the actual test case written in Java. In between, our WebDriver is sitting, and on the extreme right, our browser is sitting. And I told you that this guy, which is a WebDriver, it is working as a WebDriver. It is working as a REST API web service server, web service, web server, web service, service server, right? Why did I say that? Because I told you that whenever you're firing a command, meaning .click or whatever .get title or whatever it is, you are eventually making a call to this web services. So you're making a call to this web services, and then this web service is performing that action in the browser and then giving you back with the response, right? How do you know that? Look at this documentation, WebDriver status. Look at this text structure saying .get title. Okay, when you are performing the method called get title from your WebDriver, okay, it is eventually calling a get method, which is basically a REST API, or it's a HTTP method ideally, a get method, which is going to give you back with a title right here. See that? Or you perform a click. Do I have an option of click here? 1 minute. Switch frame, find element. You see, find element. You see that? Find element. You get this. You are performing a post call with it. Okay. What are these type of calls? We will talk about that in great details later on. But I'm just trying to find out the click option. Do I have element click? See? See? Post option. Post call. So you're performing a post call to the WebDriver, and then WebDriver is performing that in the browser. And how this data is being exchanged between this one and this one? Using JSON wire protocol. I have explained that. JSON wire protocol. Okay. JSON wire protocol is basically taking the data, meaning which element needs to be clicked, okay, which browser we are trying to use, and so on and so forth. Those data is being processed or sent to the WebDriver API using the post call that I have shown you there when you perform a click or whatever. That's how the whole operation is happening. So this is a very good page that got opened for us. So now we will just see, I was looking at the Chrome driver get storage, Chrome driver get local storage, get local storage. Okay. Okay, let's look at this one first. So it says something, how to add, okay, local store, no. Selenium WebDriver add a local, 1 minute. Where is this? Here, WebDriver.get local storage. Okay, check the example here. Do some little bit of understanding. So basically, get local storage is nothing but it is trying to set the cookies for you. Suppose you want to, if you want to extract some information from your cookies that is setting that got set in your browser, you can use the get local storage to do that. But I'm just trying to find out the right documentation that will make life easier for us. Chrome driver, okay.
What was the previous document called?
Sorry, which one?
The one which you showed get, post, and delete, and you know.
Yeah, I got it from here. It just says WebDriver standards or status.
Okay.
Yeah, WebDriver status. That's it. Okay. Where is the documentation? The methods. Keyboard support. Just a second. Okay, let me just try to see something. WebDriver, Java doc. Java doc, okay, I can just open this, let's see. Oh, all right. Index. Let me look for Chrome driver. Get storage, right? So there's an old document, but let me see if I have that guy or not. Get storage, right? Get storage.
I think Kate sent in the comments the link to the new documentation.
Sorry?
In the
Oh,
chat
yeah.
box.
Yeah. You got it. Correct. Yeah, here. Web-driver methods. That's the one I was looking for. So here, if you look at the method called getStorage, where is it? Find elements. Why don't I have that? GetStorage. I think GetStorage is not here. I think GetStorage is a part of it's a part of remote WebDriver. Let me just look at it. How do I know that? Because if you look at .getStorage, right? Yeah, it is coming from Chrome driver. It's not coming from remote WebDriver. Then why it is not showing us here? Chrome driver methods. That's right. No, I'm not seeing it. Get screenshot, get type.
Is it because it's inherited from remote
No,
driver
it's not, because I just checked out. Let me just check out here as well. You could be right. Just a minute. Methods, execute, find element, get screenshot. No, where is the method get storage? It's not there in the remote WebDriver also. It should be Chrome driver class, properties, methods, find element by expert, get screenshot, get type. I'm not sure what the method is. Get storage. Get local storage. Local storage is not within the Chrome driver. It's within the local storage class. That's why. It's within the it's within the local storage. No, it's within the Chrome driver. Sorry, it is returning back a local storage. My bad. It's returning back a local storage, but it's a Chrome driver within the Chrome driver. Then why can't I access it? And why can't I see it there in the documentation? I have no idea, but I will take a look into it. However, this guy, it is under Chrome, Selenium Chrome driver. So org OpenQA, Selenium node, Selenium Chrome. I have Chrome driver class. Inside the Chrome driver class, that's where it should have the local storage method. I cannot really access it like this, because it's a .class file. It's not a .java file that I can access it. So I cannot really access it like that. But within the Chrome driver class, the local storage is there. However, I'm not sure ideally why it is not showing in the documentation. But yeah, we can access it. So definitely it is there. That's for sure. I have to look into it, and I will let you know. One thing I want to see, this local storage, is this guy a part of WebDriver interface? 1 minute.
That's what I was going to say, because I have an instance.
WebDriver interface. WebDriver. Yeah, go on. Please go on.
Well, I think we need to look under WebDriver as opposed to Chrome driver.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look into that. WebDriver, and let me see the method. Get paid source, get manage. No, I don't see it here either. Well, you just give me another link, right, for the Chrome driver. OpenQS Selenium remote WebDriver. Wait a minute. WebDriver is coming out of the WebDriver. Remote WebDriver is coming out of the WebDriver assembly. Okay. You're looking at this guide, whatever you have sent me. It is a C#, VB, C++. I'm not sure what is that. Okay, these are This is from the C# perspective. So iWebDriver is an interface, but from the C# perspective, the document that you have given me is from C# perspective. I'm not getting this from the Java perspective. From Java perspective, it'll be a little different, you know?
Yeah, I didn't put Java in the Google search. I'm looking here actually now again.
Yeah. So Chrome driver, Java methods, Java. And there used to be a separate Java document itself where all the methods were listed. And nowadays they don't have it. Anyways, I'll take a look into it. Obviously, the method is within the WebDriver, within the Chrome driver. I'm not able to find the right document to show you, but generally a Java document is the document that you should be referring to, inside which all the methods that are defined are listed down, which you can look at and you can get to know what exactly that method is doing, you know, what kind of parameter it is accepting, what kind of return type it is, and what exactly that method is meant for. You can see all the information. I will look into it as well in terms of the documentation, if I can find anything. Okay. All right. So that's it for today. I'm going to quickly send a vote in the Slack for a couple of days, which will be for Monday or Wednesday. Let me know. Okay, you found it? That's great. You found the Chrome driver class. That's right.
If you control F there now, put in local storage, it'll bring you straight to it, I think.
All right. Yeah, perfect. That's really good. Local storage. Yeah, exactly. You see? Get local storage. Do I have a meaning for this? No. Get local storage. That's what it says. I mean, it doesn't really give me much information, but that's what it says. It's a go get local storage. And that's how it is within the package, and that's all, right? So you can understand get local storage is basically for getting the cookies information. But yeah, that's how you can look for it. Thanks for the link. Okay, so I'm going to just call it a day for today, and we have just we are still in the week 2 right now. I didn't even touch the week 3 part, which is this section where I'm talking about. I really want to talk about this because it's very important that you understand inheritance, conditional statements, runtime polymorphism, very, very important, and then constructors and how to use them. Okay, we can talk at least in the next class. I mean, the middle of the week, the class that I take. These 3 things or 3 or 4 things, I should be able to cover it up, and we will talk about the XPath in the next week class again. That's fine, but at least these 2 videos, I would love to cover it up. Okay, that's my motive. So I'm going to put a Slack with a vote. Let me know what works for you guys. All right. All right, that's it for today. And I will enable week number 4 anyways, okay? So that everybody can take a look at it whenever they can. And we are meeting back in the middle of the week one more time. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend ahead. Start whatever the gaps are there, just head on to it right after the class from today in the evening. Okay, give me this 4 or 5 months, guys. I'm pretty sure I have done it for everybody else, all other batches. It can also happen for you guys. Just give me this 4 or 5 months time, and I can get you to the level where you can call yourself as an experienced automation engineer. So you have to be proactive, put the time and effort. I'm there to support you. Just that you got to be proactive. I think that is kind of holds true at any given point, right? I mean, think about it. If you're joining an organization and they just tell you at the beginning of the first day that you have to just learn something on your own, I'm giving you some Udemy classes. I'm giving you some recorded session. You have to learn something on your own and get me a proof of concept ready within a couple of weeks or a month. You will have to put in the extra hours, right? You have to, and you have to get to the bottom of it. So you have to kind of challenge yourself similarly, and you have to come out with a plan that works for you. Everybody is different, but you have to just take it as a challenge and put that time and effort. That's the only way to go. I'm there to support you. I have no problem to make it up till 5 months. This is my site. I do it the way I do it, right? So I can definitely make it like a month. I can extend this for a month or so, but you have to be serious from day one. You have to put in the you have to show us that proactiveness. That's all I'm asking. All right. So great. See you during the middle of the week. Okay. Take care,
Thank
guys.
you,
Bye-bye.
Souvik. Have a lovely weekend. Cheers. Bye.
You too, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Bye-bye.